Welcome back, my friends, both old and new. Today is February 1st, exactly 8 weeks, maybe a day plus, of the TURP surgery. Yesterday I had a cystoscopy in which it was determined that the path through the urethra is clear, the path through the prostate is clear, the path into the bladder is clear. So why, after I was discharged at 8 p.m. without a catheter, did I wind up back in the ER this morning at 2:30 a.m.? So this is the unanswered question. What appears is that either there was a blood clot or some of the supplements I was taking, saw palmetto, I think pumpkin oil, Cialis, all these things that are supposed to be good for the prostate may not be so good for recovery of TURP surgery and may not be so good for bladder issues. So now what I've learned is there's bladder issues. What are those bladder issues? So apparently when the bladder gets distended, which mine was, I'm not sure what's normal carrying load for a bladder. Let's just say it's a half a liter. Okay. So they took out a little bit more than a bottle and a half of water this morning at 3 a.m. And this was this caused a lot of consternation in the ER. They wanted me to go home with a catheter and a new antibiotic, which I definitely told them I was not leaving with a catheter. That I was able to urinate yesterday 4 times in the hospital. An ultrasound proved that I could empty the bladder, and that there's no way I'm leaving the hospital today with a catheter. Certainly not with the new antibiotic, which only showed me that they didn't look at the history of the 5 days I was in the hospital. So a quick email or message through LinkedIn to the CEO of Broward Health brought the immediate attention of a doctor that runs the ER department. Now, to his credit, before my letter on LinkedIn, it was a private message, but nevertheless, before we got to him telling me that he just got a message from the CEO, which went through all the ranks, everyone's pretty much alarmed that I'm not getting the proper health care. Well, again, much to his credit, he had already put into motion all of the things I had asked for because I had articulated them so well in that message that I knew exactly what I wanted to say to him anyway. So here's the bottom line. It's now, 2 o'clock. It's 85 degrees. I'm sitting in the sun trying to get some needed sunshine on my pale white legs. I've been laying in that hospital bed, although I'm not pale in the face. It's pretty hard to do that in Florida. But what happened here is I'm continuing the Bothanicol, I'm continuing the Flomax. I'm now on high blood pressure medicine because apparently blood pressure is a little bit too high. Instead of being 120/80, it was 135/82 or 137 or over 79. But it would occasionally get up to 155. And all right, so at age 65, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the blood pressure medicine because apparently that has a negative effect on the kidneys as well. Here's the bottom line. They brought me breakfast in my ER room. It was very nice. Everybody was very nice to me. The whole staff's very nice. And they brought me a urinal. I don't know, within 10-15 minutes of drinking water, I had 100 mils to give to the urinal. We called in the doctor who brought the ultrasound. The ultrasound said there's another 100 mil in the bladder. So you didn't completely empty. He goes, let's see. He goes, why don't you stand for 5-10 minutes and see what happens. Less than 10 minutes later, I was able to open up the door, show him that there was another 100+ mils in the urinal. Everybody was pretty happy. They handed out sweets, and I got dressed and I waited to go. So all I can say is to people, if something doesn't sound right to you, stick up for yourself, especially when it comes to the healthcare. You don't get a second chance. I'm not going to be taking any more supplements for the prostate like saw palmetto or pumpkin seed oil, Cialis, or any of the ordinarily recommended issues for prostate, because the prostate is not the problem. The prostate is now the problem is the bladder. I'll go more into the bladder issues on a later date. This is already 5.5 minutes, and I don't know what the attention span is of my listeners. Okay, help me out, people. I'm only at less than 200 subscribers. I need 1,000.